The Falcons take on the Outsiders for their second in this best of 3. T-side start for the leaders in the series of the Outsiders. A lot of util on Jane, upgrade pistols, and no kits for the Falcons either.
But aggression takes place in towards second mid. Maka got to be careful not to be caught out of Nor, but he immediately strikes from the shadows.
A great frag to open up Outsiders, losing a player on the banana control, though Kios can strike back quick and thinking of pressing forward as well. Sees 2 players and is forced back behind the half wall. Behind the smoke as well, but still re-aggressing, still looking for an angle here, and he might just get it. Yes, he will. Fame drops.
Oh, but Flip, meanwhile, over towards apartments, neutralizes Kyojin. So now Haji has to be the player to bail the Falcons out of losing this map control. Jame, he actually eliminates Kios that was being such a nuisance on banana for them.
Opens up the B site for it, but they're still going to commit towards the A site. Python stands and fights, but loses his life as this Haji to the hands of Norbert. Pistol gained by the Outsiders, and a big start once again for them, but not that unexpected.
The only shining light for the Falcons over towards Vertigo was Kios and his opening kills. He was doing so much damage early. In the rounds that they won, it all came off the back of him finding the impact. As the desk kind of alluded to, we kind of looked to Haji, we looked to Maka. They are the players that need to step up in this series. Starting on the CT side, it's a little bit more comfortable, but with Outsiders losing the pistol, it already looks a little bit scary.
Yeah, down to the force buy with the Deagles as a result of this, taking those Deagles right back into the mid-aggression again. Not quite as aggressive as it was in the previous round. Facing forward against Haji with util pulled out. Kios not so much a thorn in the side for them on banana this time. Picked up first and foremost by qikert. Python will try fire back, but doesn't really find anything himself.
After losing a game just where you feel like you never really had a shot, the difficulty for the Falcons and the struggle that I might be worried about is the fact that they might look to force the issue and really overextend into the Outsiders. Maka looking to take matters into his own hands here with Kyojin.
Norbert ready, spraying through, gets 1, not quite 2. Kyojin gets 2 though, okay. 3 on 3, those Deagles still doing their damage, and now the attention turns to the B side. It's Python alone for now.
And Kyojin can recover a rifle, rotation coming in. Python, thankfully for the Falcons, he's the one armed with the SMG. 55 seconds though, Outsiders. They do look to make a move, but through the smoke, the Mac-10 will strike, and then Fame will double up the advantage.
Yeah, that kill from qikert forced Haji forward, and from there it all fell apart for the Falcons side. Oh, disaster. Oh, disaster is all I can say about that round, because it felt like it was such a good way back in, right? It felt like that those 2 kills in the apartments were going to give them a way back into the round, but then just blind shooting, it felt like, turned it all back to their favor.
Yeah, when the kills come in over towards A, it really just forces Outsiders to just operate on the only other piece of map control that they had. They're disgusting shots from Kyojin. But unfortunately for the Falcons, although the rotations come in time, it is immediately taken away from them. Consecutive rounds in a row, it's back-to-back for the Outsiders.
And now just the eco pistols out for the Falcons side, knowing that they won the last 2 pistols in the last map, right? Turning it back into a pistol loss right here, bit of a jarring shock to the system. And also knowing that they won 2 out of 2 pistols in that last map, still only got 6 rounds for it. So you're kind of looking at pistols being an important factor for the Falcons in this map in general. And pistols pulled out in this round will mean that it's going to be easy pickings for the likes of qikert. Mac-10 finds the first.
Yeah, XQ coming on in. There's only one defender. It's just the USPs. Outsiders have all but got this one in the bag, providing a miracle, and there you have it. Bomb site completely opened up. I agree with what you're saying about the pistols over towards Vertigo. That makes more sense, but I'm just taking a look now at the stats for Falcons, how many pistol rounds they convert over on Inferno, and it's really not good. 7 out of 18 pistol rounds won, which leaves a lot less to be desired.
Nothing to be desired in this round, of course. Falcons don't really have a lot to say, but they're going to fall back anyway. No sense in feeding themselves to the Mac-10s, which are going for the hunt here. Norbert's just found a kill, as is Flip, leaving Kyojin with the Deagle backed up to the fountain. Taps twice and does connect a headshot onto Norbert, so there you go, that's decent. Now Flip's looking for the $600 frag against the man, and indeed will get it. So plenty of cash being gained by SMGs. 3 kills at SMGs, so $1,800 cash injection into their T-side economy. And that will lead to positive signs from here on out.
3 kills on the Deagle as well for Kyojin, looking a little bit potent with that weapon. Hopefully can just translate that on towards the rifles, which Falcons will have going into this round. Almost a formality of the eco, that is completely out the window. And now it's time to reset. AWP on the side of both teams as we head into round number 4.
Maka taking his one up for anti-flash positions on the long side of brackets. 3 CTs leading their charge into the beast site. Early nade sent over the apartments will do damage towards Norbert, and Fame tanks the nade himself. So positive starts again for the Falcons, damage being done. But they're looking to storm this banana control. Python forced to swing, and qikert gets the kill for it.
Keels now has to use a smoke of his own just to extinguish that Molotov. He's going to just try and fight here. In fact, he's going to tuck right the way back in. A lot of control has been gathered at top banana by the outsiders, and that's forcing this utility to be used.
Just held back for Keels for now. Sees the head, but Fame lands it instead. Great shot. Great frag on a 5-on-3. Again, once again, outsiders press the issue. Haji caught next, feeding the 1v1s. The 3-man unit at the top of that banana control just picked apart limb from limb, leaving Maka and qikert alone.
It's what we said. It's Falcons just really just trying to take the issue. They want to trade back, but these isolated gunfights against multiple players, against outsiders, it's never going to end well. Maka, he's now been smoked off the angle, so far away from his teammate in qikert, who resides in pit.
And T-side players working their way forward. One man's already in the B side. They still want to press their hands on towards the A play though. qikert is left alone, gets that 1 kill. Overwhelmed by Fame as Flick kept himself tucked in the corner of the apartment's doorway, and therefore providing nothing at all. The bombs now on the A site will get planted. qikert might go for the late hunt onto Maka, of course trying to escape back towards that B site, the safest, in air quotes, part of the map. At least that's what he thinks. Outsiders, however, are about to throw a bit of a shock in against him. As soon as he makes the scope or makes noise, that'll be the cue for qikert to act.
And they should 100% hunt this down. They've got money to burn on the outsiders' side, and it's just such a damning mistake if Maka is going to get this one over. He's not going to scope anymore. He's tucked between a rock and a hard place, but James will reveal himself at the very least. That's an expensive weapon that's been dropped. And now he overextends onto qikert as well. Lovely stuff from Maka. It looks like he will hold on to the sniper.
Just about, it looks like. Keep away from that banana position, and if he can do that during the actual rounds themselves, maybe this could be the way in. He's extending a bit too far forward on that one, though. Only a few seconds left in the round, and he will just about hold on to that AWP. The hunt was attempted for the outsiders. Ultimately will not be successful against that last man. Of course, 4-0 to the start is going to be the more positive numbers for that T-side. Not so positive numbers for Falcons. Down to 0 rounds, 0 picks for Haji and Python, and 0 cash for a definitive buy.
But a timeout at the very least that allows the coach to come into their ears. After losing the back of the first gun round, Falcons, they need to change something here. Small micro detail as well for the outsiders is that AWP was picked up in banana as a result of the hunt over towards Maka, so don't really need to reinvest.
Half buy at best around the weapon though. Again, 0 chance of a true definitive buy. Wow. How good Fame is, man. And you know, me and Dwayne have talked about this over the course of the last few days. Like, his rise up the ranks from basically tier 3 to now tier 1 has been so quick and so unstable to a certain extent. But you do see flashes of brilliance like that. If they can harness that potential, they've got a real star on their hands here.
Yeah, they really do. And he's so young as well. He can be nurtured into this outsider's approach. He can be cultivated. Meanwhile, it's the CZ that might be a little bit of a disruption. But that Molotov is going to force them back. It's Maka with the big responsibility of the AWP. He needs to make it sing now.
Keo's pressing forward to the CZ. Flash support. None available, actually. There's no flashes on the CT side at all. Jane with the pick. Maka seeing a shoulder. Looking onto the player with the rifle. Catches qikert for 6 HP. Landed a no-scope leg shot on Fame, but Fame doesn't care about damage. 3 kills. Opening up the B site entirely. Nahaji and qikert have got nothing left. They're just back on the A site with not even a rotation in mind. Like, they're just best to save the Kevlar and the Deagles.
You can't retrieve the sniper either. A very costly round for the Falcons. And outsiders, they start flawlessly. A lot of opening kills falling the way of qikert. He's leading right now the charge. 3-0 in opening engagement. The Falcons, they don't even get a look in against him.
There's so much damage done, but the kills not capitalized upon there for Fame and for qikert. It's a shame because it felt like that could have been a way in for the Falcons, but not to be. 5-0. 5-0. Outsiders are looking well, just as good as on the last map, right? Again, we talked about this. Probably was going to be a case that we're going to stomp them out. T-side start, and well, T-side just seems to be gained already. Still 3 rounds from officiating that, but just with the way that this match is going, it feels like it's just going to be a walk in the park from here.
Yeah, you look at where the engagements took place on the minimap, you see the X's towards the top of Banana, just the entranceway into the bomb site. If the kill's converted, then that means the weapons could have been scavenged. It made it could have been a much tighter contest. However, not to be. Falcons, the luck, it definitely is not falling their way at all. Desk highlighted it perfectly. They said that, especially Alan, he was like, I'm really concerned about the fundamentals of Falcons, especially heading into Inferno, where it's very protocol heavy. You should have reactions upon reactions, a backup plan, and it feels like they don't have anything right now.
And that could all change. Took one tactical timeout early. Another good word in with the coach might inspire the Falcons a bit more. They had to do that quite a lot over on Vertigo. Put down at the half wall. Python tries to swing, tries to look for them. The incendiary is also sent back. The flashes forward. Molotovs pushing Python back in the end, taking a lot of damage for it.
Counter utility of their own, qikert with another opener on towards Python. Kios thinks better of it. He sees his teammate fall and he thinks, I don't really want any of that either. Going to allow Maka to be boosted, however, to peer on down Banana.
I can't see anything above those smokes though, so again, vision blocked on the outsiders. Thinking about the push forward the same, but it's just again that passive style of T-side. Outside of the initial facing in towards the B side, no contact is gained and the CTs go for the A-stack.
It's almost a bit like deja vu. You see that Fame and qikert, they've been brought down low into this round as well. The difference for the Falcons is they've got the weaponry to support it. They haven't got much utility, though, to defend a push.
They have to capitalize upon the kills, though. Outsiders exploited that in whole. And they're leaning in towards the A play here. The utility sent down. Kios turning away from flashes here at the flower beds. Smoke being sent up and all, and a secondary flashbang over. Doesn't catch him. Their backs are turned, and Kios only gets a kill for it. Hadji's forced to respond alongside. Jame with the AWP frag to a 3-on-3. They've been stalled, and now the rotation comes in from the outside. As the B site is open, they'll get the plant.
Completely vacant. Maka, he's the closest one to really stop this. Hadji's going to make his way down Banana,
no.
and now Flit, he's going to activate and just stab him in the back. The late lurk is perfect. It's man advantage outside.
What? They didn't get the bomb down? What were they doing there on the site?
They had 18 seconds. They had more than enough time to get there. What are they doing? They just trying to clear the angles?
I don't know. I do not know. So focused on that Flit look, we thought, yeah, this will be easy, right? He'll just get the kill, and of course his teammates are competent enough to get the bomb down. Apparently we were wrong about that second fact. Like, that's a blunder. That's a big blunder for the outsiders. It gives a way in for the Falcons. But as this series has shown, there is a way back for the outsiders to immediately respond to that blunder, respond to that round being gained. But a tactical was called by the Falcons, because they know, had that mistake not happened, they would have lost the round.
Yeah, of course, and you take a look at the money as well. They can rebuy, but if outsiders win the next, they just completely smash them, and that was a key factor on the first map. There was no consistency for the Falcons. The economy, it will be an absolute tatters if outsiders convert.
Yeah, the forced buy, oh, technically full buy, I guess. They did win the round, but you can see it's cop for masses in. So the economy is already limited. You're right, hard reset into the next. Half buy at best will be the basis for Falcons if they lose round 7. They've got to follow it up. One thing they struggled to do over on Vertigo. Keels will be able to find the opening frag this time towards Fame. Jame, however, with a responsive, tagged up to 7. Python's down to 19, so it's relatively even standing on the board.
At very least, though, Falcons, they do have the Banana control. That's a different factor. Outsiders have been very good at just pushing them off, just denying them any access. Now, this T side, they reassess Norbert. He's so far pushed up balcony. This would catch them off.
Yeah, this might be a very fast play in. I mean, they've got Jane with the flashes at the ready for the apps pop. Maka and Kyojin will be there for it. Smoke sent down to Moto, and there comes the first flash out of the gates for Norbert. The second one catches Kyojin blind. Maka on site, missing that first shot, won't get a crack at the second. And that's the outsiders proving what we talked about. Just because Falcons win a round doesn't mean they'll win the next.
Python, at the very least, can upgrade to that AK. But it's unfortunate that that's what we're saying. Oh, that's the best thing coming out of this round for the Falcons. It's not a conversion. It's a save. It's 2 rifles at the very least. And outsiders, their economy, it supports a couple of players to go and hunt for them again.
Yeah, they're looking great. in this isolated round, in this post round, in this map up, in this match. They won't opt to go extending towards the B site for the hunt. They'll keep those weapons in play, rebuild upon the economy. They did lose the last round after all. But you're right about the cash amounts. It's still fantastic for them. I wouldn't have blamed them had they gone for the hunt here. They get Falcons at least a little bit of mercy. An AK and an M4 to stay in for this. But the Outsiders 6-1 on the board.
It's also good to see that Outsiders, they can do these faster plays. It actually catches Falcon off. They're so used to the just slow approach, and Norbert just jumps out from the balcony. A multi-kill on the site, and it's just advantage Outsiders immediately.
Nothing too flashy as well, right? Just the apps pop. Easy with the flashbangs and smoke down a moto to cut off rotations, and it's a basic strat to place up here on Inferno. It's like the set piece of Mirage almost. Works out well for the Outsiders. Falcons just not ready for it. Perfect jump out from Norbert, as you mentioned. Perfect kill from qikert is denied. Python strikes first. It's just a lurk play. The majority of players are in towards mid and second, and in the apartments, they've got two players holding. Haji ready for Flit, wins that fight, and finally puts down an important player.
But there's a gap being left. It's over towards long. Maka is now trying to cover it from the arch side. But if he gets smoked off, it could be a problem. But he will hit the shot. He nearly lines up. But not to be. Norbert, he will actually escape past.
They're just staggered on Norbert's peak. He does land the shot towards him with James or pick. It brings it into a 2-on-3. That bomb making its way up towards second mid, into the T-side apartments. It looks to be the A play. They've walked into that more stacked site.
Yeah, they only saw one player in the apartments from the aggression. Potentially, that second player was not spotted. And now there's re-aggressing Kyojin. He's making his way over. He can catch out James. Oh, it's a little bit careful. They slip the net. He's going to backstab Norbert. And now Jamie's been thrown into the 1v3.
Oh, the timing and perfect decision-making from Kyojin is going to work out well against the first, and back turn towards the second. Eventually turns around to get that frag. Wonderful stuff. There you go. Falcons with another good round on the board. Chiming back into the try and back of the Outsiders. Opportunity opens again.
Falcons not playing scared.
No, they're not. And if they continue playing like that, they can take the ball by the horns, essentially. Start to get some decency in this matchup. 6-2. And again, we turn back to that follow-up question. Can the Falcons do it?
Flashbang coming over towards B. Maka, he's just so intent on taking this control away. It's a lot of grenades, and qikert somehow stays alive.
Just about, as does Maka. 19 and 15 HP from each of those players. And they're looking to press forward even further with Kios now taking the helm. Again, it's just a lurk play with a lot of players out from the T side. That bombs out this was second mid. qikert could get traded by Fame. Kios trying to hunt for that kill, and they're out of HE, so they can't find it till the smoke's clear and put the incendiaries down instead.
Flashbang being primed. It's actually going to set himself up over towards the sandbags. That Molotov, Python burns alive, but Fame somehow, in between the fire and the flames, eliminates Kios.
I have no idea how he got that kill. Now qikert's up to task. Are they going to check wood stack? They're not! qikert with a quick frag on Maka. That should have been a layup for him.
Kyojin, he's now been smoked off over on the A side of things. Python, he's now going to just follow in the footsteps of his comrades, tuck it in towards the sandbags. Outside's going to expect this one.
He's in the cubby corner. You can imagine they would do. qikert feeds himself up to get the info. Of course, low HP could have been best place for him, and Norbert finds that trade. Reliable, solid as a rock. And smokes down towards the cross, gives Haji no way back into the site. We'll try flash and force the issue on one player, but backs off in the end. Blind sprays close to Norbert's head as Kyojin makes his way around as well. That bomb will get planted. The retake is on.
Very close, but it's a good decision to wait for Kyojin, wait for the support. This retake is still very much on the cards. However, they're going to need to double up and just fight together as well. There's no utility, and Kyojin's already thinking about a potential flank and a save.
Yeah, Kyojin's backed off. Hadi's looking for exits, and whilst it felt like it could have been a retake on there, the reality is 3-on-2 on B site on Inferno is one of the hardest retakes in the game. The Falcons know that as much as anybody else. They won't go ahead for the full commit, at least save one weapon. Haji will try look to remove that AWP. No defuse kit and no smoke, so can't go for the ninja. Does find Norbert, might not cross back against the AWP. Yeah, Jane will take him down. At least it's a bit of expense against the Outsiders. But the streak, the lead, it just keeps building.
Jane will survive with the AWP. Doesn't get taken down by the bomb, so can retain that one over. Doesn't need to invest heavily. Just feels very calm and collected for the outsiders. We saw it on Vertigo where Falcons were being aggressive in towards mid. As soon as it happens one round, the outsiders, they sit all the way back. They hold. They're playing really tight angles. They're waiting for the Falcons to overstep their mark.
A third tactical for the Falcons here. Intense discussions being held. I wonder what our striker really has to say to these guys. I wonder how he's trying to G them up. It was working hit and miss over the course of that first map. But 3 tacticals used to no real avail for the Falcons here. I'm not certain that it's going to be enough. I'm not sure there's enough time for them to bring it back here.
I think the timeouts have been called as well when their money's in a really weird situation. You can just have a look at it. They're going to just full eco. They're just going to buy up some of these upgraded pistols. Keeping the money healthy, especially on Maka, to have the AWP for what could potentially could be the final gun round of the first half. Fame, he extends up Banana. There's no contest there for him.
Not this time. Not a lot of firepower to contest him, to his credit. Kyojin's M4 set over Olof. Deagles on 3, USP for Maka will back up the M4 here. Maybe Kiyo's going to find a happy play, but that's less than likely, especially given how outsiders are playing. The rifles set and ready. Just prodding at the defaults as usual.
Yeah, it's all frowns right now for the Falcons. Just waiting, outsiders just biding their time. If they want to go into this bomb site, you know for certain that they're going to execute with the utility. They're going to leave nothing to chance here, even against the Deagles.
James Orr misses his shot. Keels puts a smoke down immediately, recognizing the exit that should come out off the back of that. Only the smoke towards Coffins is utilized though. Cross is not being locked out. That is a rotate for the outsiders towards A.
Could potentially walk straight into this boost, and that's where the only weapon of the Falcons is lurking. Boosted all the way up. Tucked into his nest, Kyojin is just going to hold over towards top brackets, but it might be circumnavigated. Flit, he could do the damage over at balcony.
No one's accounted for this. Player at longs playing double duty towards long defensive and all. And here at quad, one player will get spotted above the smoke. Fame and Flit drop in, get the kills across 3 players, and that is just over in an instant for the Falcons.
Very unfortunate for them, but on paper, not expected to do too much with this. Kyojin, he's got caught in transition. That smoke makes it very difficult for him to spot those players coming through it on his position. So he tries to move over to the balcony, and that's ultimately his downfall. Just trying to save onto the Eagles, looking for any exits potentially, but I doubt the outsiders are going to give them anything to look at.
They haven't given anything to look at throughout the course of this series, so there's reason to assume that. Nothing in this round, nothing in this map, nothing on Vertigo. Nothing in this half. 8-2 will give the outsiders the advantage on the T side. And I'm just trying, like, in my head, right, as the analyst or the pundit or the fan, just trying to figure out what is the thing that the Falcons can do, right? I'm going through all these scenarios, all these processes, all these things. I'm just trying to find some sort of angle. But the reality is, I just think they're not performing all that well today. I just don't think there's enough heart in them to bring the fight here and bring the thunder. And maybe that is a skill difference thing, right? Maybe that is just going to be the case that the outsiders are a much more experienced squad. But it's frustrating just watching this match, knowing that the Falcons might have had some potential here, and it's not turned out like that.
Look, thankfully for them, it's not elimination. Although they don't want to have an off day, they have a second lifeline. So they can drop down to that lower bracket, and they can have another opportunity for one of these spots. Maka peering down in towards second mid. It's aggressive, and he neutralizes Flit.
There you go. Something going right for the CT side at last. Flit found, qikert tagged down. Important start and follow up there against the outsiders. Now the Falcons got to deal with the hit.
2 players, 1 boosted. Didn't see success last round, but maybe in towards this one. Maka's rotated over with the AWP as well. Fame looking to get ahead of the utility, perhaps.
Maka's ready for the face, lands onto Fame. 5-on-3, smokes being put down. 1 lurker in Norbert now out to the apartments and doesn't win that fight this time. Kyojin puts him down. Jamin qikert held out towards the banana control and actually towards the stairs angle. It doesn't look like it's going to be a commit here. This might be the outsiders going in for the save.
It's a stretch, but there potentially could be a road to recovery here. They keep 5 players alive at the moment. Jamie's just peering his way in, seeing if he can accomplish anything. We thought it might be a save, but actually, the Outsiders, they're going for a bit of a look-in on B. This contact play, he's pre-firing the angle, but Python wins it out, and that is the signal. qikert, he needs to retain the AWP.
Yeah, smoke down towards that stairs position, fall back into spawn. Falcons don't have the money to go for the hunt, so they won't go ahead and chase him. He's safe. I think he recognizes that. Held back into the back wall. And the third again for the Falcons. Their individual rounds being won here. They haven't gotten 2 on the trot at all here on Inferno. And that's the next step, right? They've got a round. They've just got to follow suit because the Outsiders, they will have a buy.
Need a lot more.
Yeah.
There's 7 still on the cards potentially. However, given the complete nature of the series, I just hesitate to say that that is a definite possibility. Timeout being called for the Outsiders off the back of losing a round.
Yeah.
And that allows the coach of the Falcons to get right back in their ear.
Yeah, and he's being just as animated as God B likes to be over on that big side. Of course, we're playing in Pro League of Score, as you would expect. Really getting into it here for our striker. I don't know what Dastan is going to say anything. Well, not saying anything at all, apparently. There you go. It makes a lot of sense, right? There's not much you really need to add for the Outsiders because you've seen so much success so far, right? And one round, yeah, you take that moment to mentally reset and just put it into the back of your minds, then go forward with the next investment there and just focus on getting that conversion, getting that follow-up, denying it on the Falcons side. And even then, the situation in terms of the long term looks great for the Outsiders in the next round.
I think the Outsiders recognise as well that the pressure really is on Falcons here to get that consecutive. That's the next hurdle that we've been speaking about. Control on Banana, it wants to be taken by the CTs. However, qikert and the gang, they're grouping to retake.
And walk forward, qikert sees Python, the flashbang keeping him blind. Boost up for the AWP, looks for the trade, but lands him in the shoulder, not for the kill. qikert's alive at 10 points of health. Might be an easy enough trade to return, but Falcons down on the 4-on-5.
The Key wanted to fight this, at least that was the original intention. Kios getting so aggressive. He's isolated right now. His teammate's not in support. In fact, they've gone over to A.
Yeah, backed up, hard stack, gone for these stacks so early in these rounds here, leaving just one man in Kios to do the heavy lifting. Only on 4 kills so far in this map, and I mean, that's not an indictment on him. Everybody else has pretty low numbers again for the Falcons. Not a single player on double digits. Smokes down to the execution, standing in the open. Kios gets back to second, and Hadji is on the way here, but Kios has got to get at least a kill. Turned away from the flashbang when he had the perfect chance to line up 2, gets none, and Fame is going to make him done.
Shutout already, vision obscured. Hadji, although he rotated in early, the spam, it's just not going to connect. And Falcons, how many more of these can you realistically save? How many more can you give up to the Outsiders T side? It makes sense in this round. The economy still isn't built up despite having a flawless round in the previous. Outsiders, they've won the half quite comfortably. 9 rounds on the board now. They're even hunting Hadji. Got to be so careful to survive. Deals with Flit, but Fame with the immediate trade and then follows up onto Maka. Kyojin is all that is surviving. And in fact, he's doing a pretty good job of it.
Taking 3 players down in total, AWP picks up, but the reality is the money's still great for the Outsiders, and if they get this pick, it would have been a worthy sacrifice across those 3 players. Falcons, once again, can't catch a true break. We are now at 9-3 to the T-board. Approaching the end of the half rapidly. And there's just no signs from the Falcons. I hate to keep drilling it in, but really, like, I just, like, the knife against Norbert is a slight gift to them, but I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, honestly. The Outsiders just out-fragging them. It doesn't really matter, it doesn't feel like. The AWP set in, ready for aggression back from the M4 of Hadji, and already he's down.
Outsiders are just waiting. Maka, oh wow. My goodness me, what a cracking shot from Norbert. Just deletes him off the server. And it feels like the rest of the team is soon to follow. 2-man advantage for the Outsiders. Kyojin about to be tested on the balcony again. Oh, he looks the wrong way at the worst time. Will capitalize on Norbert. And in fact, doubles up on towards Flit. But Fame will trade him out. 2 versus 1. Python, he's extended down middle.
He's the lone player in the clutch. Kyojin set it up for him. It's all left of the Venom to try and close this out. But he opts against it. Decides to back off, slither away back into the apartments. Not to try his hand at the retake. Hold on to the AK, which honestly, again, with the scoreline deficit being where it is, I do not like these calls from the Falcons to go as passive and careful as they are. Like, it's just giving free room to the outsiders to get to 10 rounds, to get to a 7-round lead. It's... I mean, what more do you say, really?
It's similar to that round where on Vertigo, Falcons elected to save in that 1 versus 2. They let outsiders go to map point, and now, yes, they save an AK, that's great, but they haven't really been using it to much impact. It's a 1 versus 2. Yes, he's low, but so are the outsiders players. Just go for it. Throw caution to the wind. You need rounds on the board. Although Inferno is typically the almost 50-50 map in the pool, this is so one-sided. Double digits now for outsiders.
Didn't get far on their best map in the pool, arguably, so is it really that shocking to see things work out like this? Damage done. The Python already the hero AK in this exchange for the Falcons. Fame got tagged up. Storming up Banana as the main force of the outsiders. The Deagle of Kills tapping forward, trying to indicate he's rotated back, but they should know that that AK is still up there.
Coach, we see him do work over in the apartments. Jame, that's a freebie. That's a gift. And as Kyojin takes a peek in towards middle, he needs to not overstep the mark. In fact, he's just going to rotate over towards B.
Yeah, it's getting completely desperate now with dry faces like that. You're hoping that you just get a headshot and just fall right back out. But it requires on crosshair placement, outsiders missing their shots, a little bit of luck that there's not multiple people there. Although they do get one trade elsewhere, Flit chiming back in towards the site hit. Keels will also drop 4 on 2, making it 1. Maka is all but done.
You talk about the dry peak as well. That was the rifle. That was the one that they saved. They didn't go for that retake in the last round. And at what cost? Okay, just have it into this one. And what are you going to do? You're just going to throw it away. What was the point in that?
There was none. Short answer. There was none. No gun saved. No potential gained. No breathing room found for the Falcons. At least it was an eco around that AK, so they have the M4s back for round 15, but it's the last of the half. And much like how we were talking about 11-4 in that last map, 12-3, 11-4 is the best case scenario for the Falcons. 1-for-1 trades as Norbert and James try and back Keels and Flit, go back and forth the same. Keels, all that remains here for the CT side. And it looks like outsiders will get the better of Falcons one more time.
Bit flabbergasted here because Falcons, they're an exciting prospect on that French scene. I wanted to see a little bit more from them. Keos, he could provide a lifeline. He drops the bomb, but is he aware of Flit also being in second mid?
He's got that frag. He knows that Flit's got to go back to second mid eventually. Try and play the mind games, looking towards Mexi for the moment. Turned away, turns back, straight through, gets the 4th round. So a little bit of positivity there for the Falcons, but it's still an absolutely dominating scoreline thus far for the outsiders. Haku, how are things like down there?
Falcons managed to get that last round, but the problem is that right now outsiders managed to get 11 rounds on the T side, and it's not even their best side because usually they have like approximately 60% win rate on the CT side. So it'll be a really, really hard challenge for Falcons. If they'll manage to do it, we'll see, but that's going to happen after the break.
Well, the Falcons have had their wings clipped as Outsiders score 11 rounds on their T side of Inferno. It's a long way back in, and Jay, let's be honest, there really isn't much hope for them, is there?
Yeah, it's about... yeah, it's just not going to happen, I don't think, honestly. I just got to be blunt at this stage. I've not seen anything impressive from the Falcons. The numbers don't aid anything. You've got one player at double digits. You've got a fantastic kill spread across the Outsiders right here. Their T side yielded 11 rounds, and as Heku was mentioning before the break, it's not even their best half, right? Outsiders, the pistols, and look at a stack, full send in towards mid. It's about to be a bloodbath, and James knows he gets a kill, but qikert gets 2 on the turn. That might have been a mistake. Norbert tries to recover it, but Maka maintains control for the Falcons side and doubles up to extend the advantage. Flit now left alone, knows that the T side. The ball makes his way towards B, but Python falls to 1 frag, and Flit's hunting for more here, pressing up against Maka. Util thrown up, the flashbang will be evaded. He'll swing for the challenge, landing the tag shot, but not the headshot. And that's an important pistol for the Frenchman.
Lovely stuff from Maka as well as qikert. The P250's doing the damage. And they really dealt with that aggression well. Outsiders not really showing any respect. They wanted this one done quickly. And the Falcons, very resilient, and they dealt well with that.
Yeah. Got to give him credit, right? Because that's a very hard sort of strategy to counteract if you're the T side, if you have them pushing up that far that quickly. The Outsiders felt like it was going to be perfect for them, but not to be in this case. Falcons, guns brought back, flashes and Molotovs sent out. Got qikert and James onto that B site defense, and the Falcons building up their markers, getting into the map control.
And that's what they have. Over towards top banana. James going to take a shot, and then that will allow that Famas to potentially swing in. It's fast. The utility is indicative of this take.
Decent scout shots and damage done to the Falcons side. Outsiders don't have any more presence here on the B site. So the bomb will get planted, and the retake will not be on. They want to save the Kevlar. They want to save the upgrade pistols for the true eco in the next round. Have a little bit more firepower. I do some damage to the Falcons there and then. Understandable situation. They have got rounds to burn here. So that's what they'll do. They'll burn one and hopefully get it back.
Yeah, they're just leaving nothing to chance. They want to give themselves the best opportunity into the follow-up. As you just mentioned, if James can keep this scout going into it, that would be a pretty nice, just handy rifle to use. He's going to fall away at the perfect opportunity as well, because Falcons, they're so far advanced towards CT.
Yeah, they're hunting for these weapons because they know what Outsiders are playing at here. But hyped regardless in the back lines. Composed in the front. And determined to try and bring in the comeback here. Of course, Falcons got a long way back from that, and this next round should be a bit of a layup. Really, you're looking at damage for the Outsiders, right? You're looking at how many rifles they can take away, how many players they can force to reinvest. If they can get any steal in this one, and that's positive, really.
A bit more of a default for the Outsiders as well. Just the pistols actually over towards B. Pistols across the board. That scout makes its way over just towards A. Not going to peer in just yet. Instead, Norbert, he's going to go looking for information.
As Haji prods on to the mid control. Molotov set with smokes down for qikert at the ready. Flashes burst themselves into the A site. 4-man stack ready for the Outsiders. Perfect setup for these pistols to try and deal with them. Smokes down against the Molotovs that can get thrown out. You have got James tapping forward to that scout. Landing nothing as of right now. He's just quick scoping and no scoping. qikert gets tagged in the end. Python escapes unscathed. Flit with one good pick back. Fame with another good kill onto qikert. Python still on site. qikert's caught by Maka. And it's a 3-on-3 situation with that player still at mini pit. But the main pit angle not being accounted for. Finally it has been. Norbert tagged down. Fame burning alive. Python with a swing gets that kill. But Fame has still been unaccounted for. Finally dealt with. James now in a 1 versus 3. None
as
versus
quick as
3.
you like, yeah. Haji immediately just dispatching of him. And for how scary that was, considering Falcons, they walked into that stack, there was a lot of opportunity for that to really go wrong, considering what we have seen all series. But is a positive start. They only lose 2 members of their team, so that rebuy is not as significant as it potentially could have been. But that was just the eco for the Outsiders. They're now going to buy. Jame will be on that AWP and is currently uncontested.
Outsiders did a decent amount of work there with their weapons, not the 3 casualties that you're really looking for in this kind of anti-force buy. The nade set, however, open up this next round, though. The gun's out on both sides, and Hadji is first to fall. Keo's pressing on. AK right behind the Molotov. And sees where Keo's is, forcing him back off the coffins.
It comes at a cost, but Falcons, they do have the map control. Kyojin, he's now extending towards the boiler. Was a double long setup for the Outsiders, but James rotated over, and they're not really too sure where this one's going to end up. Defense utility being deployed at top middle.
Yeah, walk up. Falcons sat on with 60 seconds left. Playing as slow as the Outsiders do on T-side. Smokes counteracted by Incendiary should cancel the hit for now.
Norbert just playing on the edge of the smoke as well. He can deploy this Molotov at the perfect moment. As the flashbangs rain in, that molly will force him into the fray. But the Falcons, they're not actually pouncing upon it.
Yeah, they're so ready for the apps pop, but just the utility being thrown in just stalls them and completely dismantles the setup. Short to A, perhaps. They're spread out in brackets, watching long split to A. 25 seconds to do this. They're running out of time here. Falcons need to make a move. They've got to find Norbert in at pit, watching at the broken wall. The flash is going over for Kios now. Will start to face Kyojin. Gets that frag, but fits on the back sight here. Sees one, sprays down, is overwhelmed in the end. It's a 3-on-3 though. The Outsiders will try this.
Lovely flashbangs to allow Falcons safe way onto the site, but now they need to defend it. All the rotations from the Outsiders, they're making their way up towards top mid. Fame, he's leading the charge.
And backing off as soon as his teammates call it in. Jame opting to bring his squad back, save the weapons. Get an 8th round, the Falcons. Get away unscathed for the most part here on those 3 players that remain alive. And a very crucial 8th, building back into the comeback. Got further than the previous comeback did over on Vertigo. So encouraging signs are abound. That's also 5 rounds in a row if you include the ending round for the last half for the French side. Momentum has swung towards their favour.
And that's what we looked for. That's what we asked for in that first half. Whilst they could get a round here or there, we wanted consecutive, and now it's a string of them all in a row. Outsiders put on the back foot. They've not been able to pick up a round yet on that CT side. As the half changes over, Falcons are looking a lot more dominant.
Yeah, AWPs in only for the CT side, not for the Falcons here. Money's still a little bit awkward, even though they got 8 grand on Python. Then again, they didn't opt for the AWP too much over on T side of Vertigo, so that could also be a stylistic thing here for the Frenchmen, regardless of what it is. Maybe the setup they take into round 20 with hopes of continuing on to their 9th.
As soon as they make their move anywhere on the map, defensive utility falls their way, forcing them back. qikert extending in, gets replied with a counter flashbang. There's no rotations yet for the Outsiders, and more damage will fall the way of the Falcons.
Yeah, Kios tagged. Outsiders were able to use this utility to great effect in previous rounds, but it hasn't worked out to a round win itself. Fame and qikert would be the 2 standing players on that B site. Utility starts coming in, counter flash from Fame. We're trying to allow qikert and Fame to peek together, but they don't see anything past the counter smokes. And the Incendiary is thrown down. A 3rd player joins the fray for the Outsiders. Damage starting to pour in as Maka uses that boost to find Fame. And now qikert, it's all that remains ahead of the smokes of the CT side. Spray blinded, eventually gets a kill towards Hadji. They're all bunched up. He gets another kill through smoke. For the triple, the quadra, the ace, perhaps not quite. Maka executes 2 and regains control.
Jame, oh, if he pulls the trigger right now, he can have a free kill, but not to be. Instead, he will hold and he will have the AWP because he is going to save once more. The Falcons survived the scary smoke spam, but qikert, from our perspective, that looked like he could really do it all.
He almost did. Wonderful 2K through that smoke, and in the end just didn't have the wherewithal, didn't have the vision, and James didn't have the wherewithal himself, right? Like that AWP was directly placed on a player in the middle of the smoke, and he couldn't have possibly known that. Ooh, almost got a collateral against two, but qikert will be fine. 2 players remain alive for the Falcons, and damage will be done to the economy again. But at this stage, it has built up, so it might even be irrelevant. What is relevant is the scoreline. This has gone from 11-4 to 11-9.
And this Outsiders is map pick. Falcons really taking the fight to them. A lovely resurgence here on this T side. Pause being called by the Outsiders. Look at their economy. It's not in the best shape. It's getting close. Getting quite contested here.
Yeah, 2 rounds to separate, and maybe Falcons might have some life left in them. We were doubting them. We were writing them off at the start of the map. There was no reason why Inferno should have been this close and why it has brought back to this position in the first place. Outsiders with a great T side onto their stronger half in the second half as well. Clinging on for dear life for the Falcons. Every round is important to them, especially these next 3. If they get them all, they get the lead.
And what a momentum shift that would be. Outsiders have definitely not accounted for this as part of the plan. James thinking about peeking in towards middle. Thinks better of it. qikert, meanwhile, it's aggression in towards apps. This is quick.
Slow walking alongside Python. They have that position on lock, and no one from the Outsiders will challenge it. Norbert's thinking about it, but drops off the balcony in the end. Well, it's back at mini pit. The teammate to crossfire. They suspect the apps might be the attention focal point for the Falcons here. They've got to keep their eyes on long, though.
Not to be. All the Falcons, they're working their way towards the balcony. It's going to be an apps pop, maybe a taste of the own medicine for the Outsiders. Norbert, though, in towards the pit, deals with the first.
Smoke down from Flit to buy a little bit of cover for him, and sprays back from Norbert, gets a double. Slight gap suppressed by the flashbang, so the player on site just can't see it, but James still finds a shot on Python. He snuck past the T-side player, though. Kios with the flank, but he's all that remains here, and his teammate stayed alive. This could have been valuable to him, but the damage compounding, the nade to finish off the job and break the streak. The Outsiders up to 12 now.
What a hold from them as well. It's that flank that actually really does the damage, and unfortunately, that is it. The Falcons, they try a more simple approach. They don't elect to take the banana control away from the Outsiders in this one. Based on the ground that qikert found early in towards apartments, they just decided to go for a reactionary play. Maybe it was part of the program, but Outsiders completely ruined the script.
Set with those weapons, the damage being done to the CT side. The Outsiders storming up Banana, and Fame's going to burn for it. Behind the smoke, that kill came through. And that's all that will come through, it looks like. 5 on 4 just held. Flit seeing utility being thrown down towards this position. The Incendiary might drive Python back, but it's just time stalling here.
There's even a gap in that smoke, so he can just work the opportunity. And in fact, he's going to push on forward.
Oh, they have no idea. They think it's going to be completely clear to swing out. Sees 2. Norbert and Flit chime in together. The author of Maka turns back around quick as Python finds a spray towards Norbert. 1 player at Graveyard. qikert gets 2. And qikert now left alone towards apartments. Unknown, undetected, unaccounted for the most part. Out towards apartments, at least that entrance might be secured. But the moment he drops off is going to be revealing. It doesn't matter. They peek towards it in the end, get the kill. And the Outsiders right back on track, it seems.
That's really nice from Flit. It makes the most of the opportunity. Maybe Outsiders in the past couple of rounds been letting Falcons play their own game a little bit, making them uncomfortable, taking the fight to them just ahead of the utility. Lovely stuff from him. And it just nets them that round. He dinks them all down low and qikert with a clean-up job.
Final tactical timeout here for the Falcons. Everyone is talking. Everyone is listening on both sides. The last chance the Falcons will have to talk with their coach, Striker. And they're going to go for a buy here. Hero War, potentially. There's not a lot of money to afford the full-on investment, but the rifles are coming in. Oh, I don't know if I like this, but it might be their only chance. If they lose this, though, Outsiders get to 15.
It's a difference to what we saw on the first half. Rather than taking that risk, they chose to be more reserved this time. They're throwing caution to the winds. Maka with the AWP peers out over the utility and he spots out an arm, but it's not quite the conversion. And the second time of asking, no, qikert will take his life.
And he doubles up as well towards qikert behind the smoke. A 5-on-3. The AWP at the T side just can't catch him. Python, no exits, will extend far forward, misses, flicks, and qikert melts through them all. A quadra of frags. And Kyojin in a 1-on-5. It has gone completely wrong for the Falcons here. qikert on for the ace. He wants it so badly. A good flick to the head, but that's all that Kyojin will get to it. Smiles on the faces because they know they've broken the Falcons.
7 kills in 2 rounds for qikert. He is unhinged on Inferno. And you're right, that was the investment. That's it done. They're going to have to eco. They're going to concede series point against the Outsiders. They look to advance for one of these spots.
What a spray from qikert. They just continued, right, against the AWP. 4 frags. And it's pistols out for the Falcons here for round 24. Nade damage done already. Insignia is suppressed. Hard stack in towards this banana control. Flit and qikert. More frags. qikert with a triple. Not quite the quadra this time. Not like it matters. Python's alone with no Kevlar, no bomb, and no chance.
And that's it. Fame will secure it. The Outsiders are just 5 kills away from securing their spot at Pro League Season 16. The Falcons now have a mammoth task on their hand if they even want to bring this, firstly, to overtime, and secondly, to a decider map.
Well, 6 in a row is not the most impossible task in Counter-Strike, but it is damn difficult. AKs across the board, at least they aren't lacking in that firepower department. But they need so much more than good weapons, right? Like, Falcons have conceded rifle round after rifle round, time after time. Hadji at least opens things up, tapping through towards the apartments, but Norbert slipped past him, found Python, back to a 4-on-4 we go.
And most importantly, he escapes. He doubles up with his teammate. He doesn't allow Kyojin to trade. The Falcons going to make use of the man that they found in the apartments. They're going to try and extend up long, but that's where Flit resides, but it doesn't matter. Maka will silence him.
Norbert alone at the back site here over at Pit. Flashed off, blinded player drops in behind him. Kyojin gets that kill, so it looks like Falcons will hold on to a lifeline for now. Catching off those picks is appropriate. But how many times in this match have we seen Falcons gain 1 and Outsiders gain 1 back?
You talked about 6 in a row. They've done it once, but it's a very different ask for them to replicate it again. If we do include that last round on that CT side for them. Double digits at the very least. It's a more comfortable showing. It's a showcase of what they can potentially provide. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see it over the course of the entire series. But look, there is still time.
Yeah. There's still a comeback in them, right? Like, they've done well up to this point. They've done well to bring themselves back into this game. You can even argue the comeback started at 11-4 because of how big that deficit was. But now it's high-pressured. Now Falcons can't afford to place a foot wrong. And that's where it gets real dangerous for them. That's where it gets real pressurized for them. Where things can really compound. And therefore, we need to see them playing perfect. We need to see nothing less than that.
Completely agree. Just consoling themselves, just looking at each other down the line. They can't put a foot wrong, can the Falcons? qikert, he's having a field day right now on Inferno. He looks to contest them again on Banana.
Kios tagged up early. No kills for the Falcons or the Outsiders yet. Norbert, seeing the bullet coming in, knows that they've got apps control. The AWP Jane will miss the shot. Get forced back. Norbert still sat below quad. And Python might face him. Utility thrown down for the now. There's a smoke to suppress that long control. They're not going to act just yet. Not without flash support.
And here it comes in. Norbert, he's isolated, but he will win out the gunfight. Python, and there's no trade flit. He'll walk through. It's a two-man advantage. This has been shut down, and potentially this could be the end for the Falcons.
Yeah, 5-on-3 scenario. Further flashes forward. Keo's trying to recover. There's a player in Cubby and a player over at Arch. Flit strikes, gets Keo's. Fame finds Hadji and Kyojin in the 1v5 clutch to bring it back together for the Falcons. He doesn't even have the bomb, and he won't even have the chance. There it is for the Outsiders, 16-10, as they will advance to the ESL Pro League.
They get it done in a very dominating fashion here. Lovely stuff to see. Falcons, look, they're not out just yet. They will drop down to the lower bracket. They will have another opportunity, but that's heartbreaking at the very least.
Yeah, we hope for so much more from them in this series. We expect them to at least do some damage on one of these maps, but it hasn't.